Someone might have put out a prayer, put out a signal for support, and you may have been that answered prayer. Someone might have been in a cycle of abandonment, a cycle of self-sabotage, and you were brought in to bear witness to that cycle and help to put an end to it, in a sense, a spiritual coach. And this might have come in, I'm hearing inopportune time, where maybe this person didn't recognize the value because they weren't focused on getting in right relationship. Star Shantir uses that language, getting in right relationship. And I feel like your job was to support this person on their path to get in right relationship with God. And it may or may not be important for you to be with them in the long term. So if you're on that twin flame journey and you've been in separation and you're like, will there be reconciliation? Will there be union? The union is meant to be within yourself and within themselves. And that relationship within is supposed to bring them closer. What is that song? You bring me closer to God. It's something like that. Like you're supposed to help whomever you meet, whether it's twin flame or otherwise, help guide each other on your path inward. I'm getting the sense that whoever you were drawn, whoever did you wrong, it's like they stomped on their blessings. They're now recognizing. I'm seeing like a rubber band like that snap back. Now that they're in their own energy and not siphoning from theirs, they're able to look within. Your energy shielded them from external forces and also shielded them from their own illusions. Those illusions have been, you've drifted apart from someone and now they're no longer able to live in the illusions, no longer able to dance in delusion, okay? And so now they're forced to take a look at reality, and I feel like they're looking back and it's now like, oh, this could be comparable to like you might have been in an abusive relationship or been a victim of the dark triad, and now looking back you're like, oh, all this was lined up, right? They were trapping me, they were baiting me in. Like you're seeing those things. I think this person or this group is starting to see, oh, I'm getting my karma. Oh, I didn't get the warning signs, and the divine was telling me from the jump, get right, get right. Recently I was told that someone needed to get their ish together, and it's like they didn't listen, and now the snapback, they're being forced. Oh, and I was also reminded at one point that this person was, energetically getting hit with lessons, but wasn't opening the book to listen. And I feel like they want to apologize. They want to apologize to you because they think that getting right with you will allow them to get right with God and thus reverse this karmic triad or karmic conditioning that they're like, it feels like stuck on spin cycle, but the clothes aren't getting like dry enough to switch to the dryer. You know what I mean? You ever had that where like when the washing machine isn't working right and it's like the spin cycle just isn't doing what it needs to do, something like that. Was also getting that it's important for you to notice, especially as an empath, of how you're kind of often like a sponge. You pick up energies, and you also kind of get drawn into relationships very easily. You can take on projections of others. You can pick up energies in the workplace. You can pick up energies in different spaces. To pay attention to the company you keep, okay? Pay attention And this goes for like, those people that meet you on your off season and then they're kind of like flabbergasted when you stand back up. Excuse me. It's like somebody met you in a time that you were down, so they didn't get to see the real you, right? Something like that. They want you to pay attention to when you meet someone. Do you evolve, or how does your life evolve, right? Do you fall into hardship, or do you start to elevate? There was one relationship I was in years ago, years and years ago. It was a quick one, but damn, was that a lesson. And just as we started dating, I lost my job. And it was like, now I see it as that person was out for financial gain, right? And so the divine wasn't going to allow me to bear fruit for this person to enjoy dessert. Do you hear what I'm saying? They also want to notice how illusions are crumbling for you to rebuild, right? They're breaking down karmic cycles. They're breaking down illusions. They're breaking down storylines from the past to redirect you. And there's a difference between things breaking down for them to rebuild on a solid structure, like infrastructure, and a difference when they're just like breaking apart because you're not in right relationship. It's kind of one and the same, but it's like sometimes things that fall apart are a blessing, right? And you're like, oh, that was preparing me for XYZ, and it's lining up, and there's this forward momentum in the end, right? Kind of like training grounds or something, right? There's some sort of forward momentum versus a cycle, again, of like the clothes not getting dry enough in the spin cycle, okay? And they also want you to notice the ripple effect. This comes back to noticing the energies around you with the company you keep. There's a ripple effect from energetic attachments. Like they cause chaos, and it has a ripple effect. And so it's like you have to maintain your spiritual hygiene to keep weeding your garden with some company that you keep. And the divine doesn't want you to have to keep, like, you have to do your spiritual maintenance, your protection, whatever, your self-care, but they don't want you to like exhaust your energies with someone who is not in right relationship with life. And if you feel like you've been like blindsided, some energetic attachments, like they lay low. It's so different than like you meet someone new and they can like tuck in their shadow and maintain their like polite disposition until you get to know them after a while. Some of the games that you might be witnessing are a commingling of opportunistic resourcing. They give me that opportunistic resourcing. I'm like, all right, Spirit. And that's a way of like luring you in so these dark attachments can take root into your energy so that they could use you as a supply. The divine could be intervening. So if things like just aren't lining up, schedules just aren't lining up, and the divine is not letting union happen or not letting something happening, this could be redirection as God's protection. So I guess this is more of like a warning that just because someone comes back with that apology, you can accept that apology, you can give that forgiveness. I'm hearing bear witness. You can do it at a distance. And so what you want to look for is, has the energy changed? Has the energy changed? Or is someone using you now through your forgiveness so that they can forgive themselves? It is not your job to do emotional cleanup for others. Again, the divine does not want you to exhaust your resources. You have a divine purpose, and you might be getting a new assignment, might be getting your discharge papers, or something like that. It might be time for a new. So be mindful if energies are returning. You're meant to build and build on solid grounds. You're meant to be supported by energies that are in right relationship with life, that aren't in their ego, but are in the heart center. They're like unconditionally loving. Those are the energies you're meant to be around. They don't want you to like pour into someone who's just not giving back. You deserve to have reciprocity. All right, I'm going to leave it there, sending you lots of light and love your way. Please only take what resonates.